Here we have my Power Sonic. It's a 12 volt, 35 amp hour sealed lead acid battery. And this one is a 2019. So this was made in 2019. So 20, 21, 2. So it's 4 years old. It's done for its life cycle. So I use this battery for out in my shed, and it powers a radio, and then it powers a exhaust fan. So when I grill inside the shed, I have a way to get rid of the smoke. So it's pretty much on its last leg. So I kept it on a maintainer all of the prior winter. So it has a desulfator and a maintainer and stuff like that. But all these sealed lead acid batteries, they all suffer from the same fate. Eventually, they still dry out, and of course, this is not a flooded battery, so there's not really much you can do about it. So on a couple of days ago, I had this on the charger again, and it was showing green. So I unplugged it. So it's been about 3 days since I unplugged it. So we're going to take a voltage measurement of this. And normally a good battery should be hanging around about 12.6 to 12.8 volts if it's a good battery. This one is hanging out at 11.94 volts. So it's not doing very well. And then when I put a load on it, it automatically just drops right down to about 10 volts. So it's shot. So I've had several of these flavors of these sealed lead acids. I had them tiny little UPS type, like 7 amp hour jobbers, and I had a couple of pairs and a booster pack that I've replaced and stuff like that, and they all die the same way. It don't matter how well you take care of them, they're gonna die. So normally with these things are used for a variety of things, UPS, wheelchairs, stuff like that. So they're meant to be cycled, so, I always take them down, no more than 10 volts, because that's a cycle. So from fully charged to 10 volts, that's a cycle. So, like I said, these things are done. So I decided it's time for a new battery and to get up with the times. So that's what I have done, is I purchased a new battery. And I can almost get it up here with one hand. So I have the, I think it's Roy Pack. Something like that. A new technology type deep cycle battery. So let's take this out of the box and check it out. Because this is a lithium battery. So this is the Roy Pow. Get powered, get inspired. This thing is so light compared to this monster. So this is claims it has high energy, ultra safe, lightweight, long life, quick charge, maintenance free battery. And this is the 12 S1230, so S1230, and this is a 30 amp hour, 384 watt hour deep cycle battery. And this is the Lithium FePO4, so lithium ion battery. So these things are starting to come on the market more and more common now, and they're intended for deep cycles. and a lot more cycle count. So I don't know what the cycle count of these are. I would say about a couple hundred. This one claims it has a cycle count of 3,500 cycles. And it comes with a go handle and a welcome guide. So it comes with a go handle, and I assume that this has all the bits and pieces in it to protect it. So I think it has a battery monitor service in here. This is how light this thing is. I can pick it up and fling it around with one hand. I can't do this with this one. It's too heavy. We're going to do a little weight comparison right now. So this is the Roy Powell. It's the S1230. Operating voltage is 12.8 volts. Charging voltage is 14.4. Continuous charge current, it can handle up to 20 amps. Continuous discharge current is 30 amps. So quite a decent little battery here. So it's got a limited lifetime warranty. Usually replace lead acid batteries, just plug and play. Can't 2 times longer than lead acid. Lightweight, easy to use, and transportation. It's maintenance free, no emissions, carbon footprint, or damage to environment. It's a lithium battery. Of course, there's been damage to the environment because you had to, mine all the lithium and the cobalt and this and that, and all that stuff, because it says right here, this product can expose you to chemicals including cobalt, lithium, nickel oxide, and nickel, which are known in the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects and other reproductive harm. So it's got all the good stuff. So all the poor bastards that had to mine all the lithium, and all the little poor bastards that had to mine the cobalt and process it, they're all going to die. Because, they don't have the PPE and all that other good stuff. So that we can have a nice, awesome little battery that you can hold in one hand. So 30 amp hour compared to a 35 amp hour battery. Not really going to cry about that. It's not really that much of a difference. So, just a 30 amp hour battery, and you can just, flick it around with your wrist. Amazing. So, I do carry this around, and I do have a charger for this. My outside charger that I use to plug into my truck when I don't drive it, which is a maintenance-free battery charger. It also detects these lithium batteries. So we'll figure out how to put these little guys in. I think it goes something like this. Because we need the go handle. So there. Now we got a go handle. Gotta have that go handle. It's very cool. So, like us, Roy Poi Technology Co. Limited. So, check out that QR code. So these guys are a little bit more expensive than a regular lead acid battery. But if it really does last 3,500 cycles, it's worth it. Recharge at least, so check this guy out every 3 months. Make sure you keep them topped off. And it has all the regular charging information. So we'll go through some of it. The nominal output is 12.8 volts. So that's when it should be sitting at when it's fully charged and just standing by, which is something this should have been doing, but it don't. So it just tells you that it's seen better days. Nominal capacity is about 30 amp hours. Actual capacity could be greater than 30 amp hours. Of course, a couple of, about 5 to 10 cycles, it'll probably continue to achieve its final amp hour reading. Internal resistance is less than 20 mega ohms. Charging voltage is 14.4. Maximum charging voltage is 14.6. Discharge cutoff voltage is 9.2 volts. Self-discharge rate per month should be less than 3% at 25C. Continuous charge current, 20 amps. Continuous discharge current, 30 amps. Charging protection temperature, 0C and or 32F. Operating temperature is anywhere from 32 to 122F. Storage temperature should be anywhere from -4 to about 113 degrees. And of course, this size is almost the same size as this guy. So he's just about a couple millimeters not as tall. The width is the same. And the length is the same. So just a tick shorter. And the weight is about 8.8 pounds. And of course, you can use this for your... this is not really a starting battery, so it's for your inverters and stuff like that. So it'll be useful for your motorhomes, your houseboats, your travel trailers, your solar system for your house, trolling motor, operate the hydraulics on a dump trailer. So you want to suggest charging the battery periodically to the regular battery storage voltage. This is 12.8 to 13.2, or 30 per 50% state of charge to avoid over discharge. So I think this has all the battery protection in it, so it might completely shut you out if you let it go completely dead. You may not be able to recover it. And of course, this little guy, you can wire these in series and parallel. So you can wire up to 4 batteries in series and have up to... yeah, okay. 48 volts at 30 amp hours, or parallel. So you can have 2 in parallel for 60 amp hours. And then you can have series and parallel connection for 24 volts at 60 amp hours. And of course, before you do the series and parallel connection, you got to charge each battery individually, so that when you connect them all together and start using them and cycling them, that they can all charge at the same rate at the same time. So we'll do a little comparison of weights of this sucker, and then I'll take my wires off and put it on my new battery. So we'll get the scale here, and hopefully this battery is not over the weight limit of this thing. So we'll plug in my little scale here. Okay. So this one is 24.9 pounds. 24 pounds for a 35 amp hour battery. So this one really come in at 8.8. Oh, it's about 9.3. So it's just a little bit heavier, but it's a lot better than 24 pounds. Get that out of the way. So I'll just take my little tchotchke wires off here, and we'll put it on the new battery. So, goodbye, and thank you for your service. And now we bring in the new lightweight boy. So one of my cables here, this is one of the cables for my Noco. It's the little guy. He's got the capability of charging these lithium cobalts. So we'll put this one on. Of course, we'll have to do a little, does they fit like that? Nope. So we'll have to do it like this. I gotta find my other little wire that I dropped on the floor. But we'll get these two started. And then we'll get my battery. This thing that I dropped on the floor, and we'll get him in there. So this company is Roy Powell. It's just come on the market. It's available. Of course, the stuff's not available on Amazon, and they got all kinds of little applications for motorsports and charging, and of course you can get batteries for your big boy toys, and then you can get storage solutions for your solar systems. So they got all kinds of shapes and sizes of batteries. So we got all that nice and tight. That's all ready to go. So we'll see what the charge state is.
Already on auto mode.
And then we'll wrap up this video. So this guy, he's hanging out at 13.08 volts. And let's see if there's a date on here when he was made. Since it's so easy to maneuver here, see if there's a date on here. I don't see one. Of course, there is a number on here, but it's probably some kind of gibberish code. Don't see anything on here that looks like a date, but we'll say this is a at least a 2022 made battery. So before I use this, I will fully recharge this with the special battery charger. So that is a reminder to you guys for if you decide to buy these lithium iron phosphate cobalt. I think these are lithium cobalts or whatever. But you got to have a special charger for these guys so that you don't blow them up. So I hope I have a nice long life of this one. I should have with up to 3,500 cycles. And if you don't know what a cycle is, and this refers to all batteries, whether it's a deep cycle marine or like your Optima yellow tops or your Optima blue tops. When they say deep cycle, that means standby voltage, which in this case would be about 13 volts, and then you use it down to about 10, or in this case about 9-ish. But even with your deep cycle batteries, it's basically 12 volts to 10 volts. That is considered a cycle. If you go below 10 volts, especially on a flooded lead acid or absorbed glass mat, you do run the risk of severely damaging the battery, or at least killing your cycle count. So you won't get as many cycles if you keep going below the 10 volt threshold. And of course, if you can do better, of course the batteries will last longer. So if you can, notice that little bit of a power dwindling, especially if you're like on a fishing boat and you're using your trolling motor, and you notice that you keep jacking the speed up to maintain speed, probably a good time to recharge, or at least go back to the dock. So that's it for this little Roy Powell lithium battery. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Of course, you can follow me on Rumble, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.